Now, you got released from prison just about a year and a half ago now.
Right, November 6th of 1992.
1992,
Yeah.
okay. And Sharon, how was it? Now, it's got to be awfully hard when your husband's gone for 4 years, and you were in Arizona State Prison, is that right?
No, I was in Federal Correctional Institution in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh,
Federal.
Oh, federal,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was, when I was in state prison, I was in Folsom.
Oh, in Folsom, okay.
That was back in the 70s when it was a lot of fun.
How, was that as long a stint? Was it
A little bit longer.
That was
Actually,
longer.
Actually, from the time of arrest till the time that I was out, I was 5 years and 10 months. On this time, I did 57 months. Just 3 months under 5 years.
What were you in for that time?
Which time?
The first time when you were in
The
Folsom?
first time I was in for possession of an ounce of heroin for sale with a marijuana prior of less than an ounce, which gave me a 10 to life that you had to serve the 10 on, and a possession of a gram of cocaine for personal use with the marijuana prior, again, enhancing it to a 5 to 15 that you had to serve the 5 on. So I was serving a 15 to life sentence for an ounce of heroin and a gram of cocaine with a less than ounce marijuana prior.
Well, were the laws on drugs were a little more stringent back then?
Quite a
weren't they?
bit more.
Yeah. Would they be a little more lenient now?
Yeah, well,
or not
what-
on you particularly?
What happened was the marijuana prior was illegally applied to me. Without the prior, it would have been a 5 to 15 and a 6 months to 5 under the old sentencing laws, the indeterminate sentence. With the prior, it made it to 15 to life. It took me the whole time I was in prison to get the prior taken off because it was illegally put on me. When I got it taken off, they couldn't put it back on me because marijuana less than an ounce then had become a misdemeanor. So I was without the prior, and Senate Bill 42 had come in, doing away with the indeterminate sentence, making mandatory sentences that you had to serve all the time on. And for the laws then, I had more time served than the law required. So I came back from court with the prior off. The next day I went before the Community Release Review Board, and they gave me a 20-day release date. The warden didn't want my friends coming to pick me up. He said I had a choice. I could leave with Sharon in the morning, or I could get transferred to San Quentin and get released in 20 days. Well, you know what I took.
And how has it been for you during these times?
Well,
Has it been helpful to have the Hells Angels, or are they really supportive?
Let me interject a little bit.
Okay.
At the time I went to prison the first time, Sharon was also a defendant in the case. She was
really?
in the house, and they took me out of the house on another charge prior to finding the drugs. And after they found the heroin and the cocaine, I wasn't there, so they arrested her and
I
charged
went to trial.
her.
I went to
And
trial
she
with
did
him.
go to trial on it also. And then again, in 1979, when we were arrested on RICO charges, when the Hells Angels was the first group ever in the history of the RICO law to get a not guilty at a jury trial. We was in jail 14 months before we got a not guilty. We had, at that time, the longest criminal trial in the history of the United States. Lasted 9.5 months, and the jury found us not guilty. Sharon was also a defendant in that case.
I see.
So we were facing 40 years.
And in the case that I did go to jail on the last time, they tried every way they could to implicate Sharon into it. They, right up until the day the trial started, they didn't know if she was going to be a defendant or not. So they like to put our wives away just as well as they do us.
Because when he was away in Folsom the first time, what kept me going that time was I always knew that he was sentenced illegally and that should be changed. So that hope of changing the sentence, it was like some people thought, you're kind of crazy. It's like, he's got to do, let's see, 15 to the board, Well, no, we have to change that. That kind of hope can keep you going.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting it changed. But and then having the extended family of the club there to support me, as well as my own family and Sonny's family, it's really like a lot of it's a real good support group, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I know, that's got to be hard. Waiting. I mean, it's hard being in prison, but it's hard waiting as well, yeah.